Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. I've got a story for you today that still gives me chills just thinking about it. It's one of those things you see in movies, but you never, ever expect to happen to you. It all started about 3 months ago, right after I moved into this new apartment building. The place is great old, but with character. Thick walls, solid floors, or so I thought. My next door neighbor was an elderly gentleman named Mr. Abernathy. We didn't talk much, just the usual polite nods in the hallway. He seemed quiet, kept to himself, and honestly, was the perfect neighbor. But then, the knocking started. It was always at the same time. Midnight. On the dot, a slow, deliberate knock on the shared wall between our apartments. Knock. 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 The first few times, I ignored it. Maybe he dropped something. Or was hanging a picture, but it happened every single night. It wasn't loud or aggressive, just persistent. After a week, my curiosity got the better of me. One afternoon, I caught him in the hallway. "Mr. Abernathy," I started, trying to be casual. "Everything all right? I've been hearing some knocking from your apartment late at night." He just looked at me with these tired, vacant eyes and said, "Oh, just some old pipes, my boy. This building breathes at night." It was a weird thing to say, but he was old, so I just shrugged it off and let it go. The knocking continued. A nightly ritual I started to expect. It became a strange sort of comfort, in a way. The sound of someone else being awake in the quiet of the night. It was my midnight metronome. Then, 2 weeks ago, I saw an ambulance outside the building. Paramedics were wheeling a gurney out of his apartment. Mr. Abernathy had passed away in his sleep. Natural causes, the building manager told me later. It was, I felt a strange sense of loss for the neighbor I barely knew. That night, for the first time in months, there was silence. Midnight came and went. No knocking. The quiet was almost louder than the sound I'd gotten so used to. It felt final. I went to bed feeling an odd mix of relief and melancholy. The next night was the same. Utter silence. The chapter was closed, or so I thought. Exactly 1 week after his passing, I was jolted awake. I glanced at my phone, 12 a.m., and then I heard it from the wall next to my bed. Knock. Knock. My heart stopped. I sat bolt upright, every hair on my body standing on end. It was impossible. He was gone. It had to be my imagination, right? Grief, stress, my mind playing tricks on me. But it was so clear. Te same slow, deliberate rhythm. I held my breath, listening. Silence. I must have dreamt it. I forced myself to lie back down, my heart pounding against my ribs like a drum. The next night, I was determined to stay awake. I sat in my living room, lights on, watching the clock. Las 11:58, las 11:59, as the numbers on my phone flipped to midnight. It happened again. Knock. 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 It was coming from the wall. His wall. This was not in my head. There was no mistaking it. Panic set in. I couldn't sleep in my bedroom anymore. I started sleeping on the couch in the living room, as far from that wall as I could get. But every night, like clockwork, I'd hear it. Faint, but undeniable. The knocking from the empty apartment. I was losing my mind. Was this a prank? Were the new tenants just incredibly weird? I called the building manager. "Is someone moving into 4B? I asked, trying to sound calm. "No, not yet," she said. "We haven't even finished clearing it out. It's completely empty." Completely empty. The words echoed in my head. Premeditato, no, my sanity depended on it. I'm not a brave person, but desperation makes you do things you never thought you would. The next day, I noticed the door to 4 Bites was slightly ajar. The cleaning crew must have left it unlocked. My heart was hammering, but I pushed it open and slipped inside. The apartment was just as the manager said. empty and sterile. The furniture was gone. The carpets were cleaned. The walls were bare. A fresh coat of paint filled the air with a chemical smell. There was nothing. No person. No animal. Nothing that could possibly be making a noise. I walked over to the shared wall, the very spot where the sound came from. I pressed my ear against it, feeling the cold, smooth paint. Nothing. It was just a wall. Feeling a little foolish, I turned to leave, but as I did, my eyes caught something on the floor near the baseboard. A small, dark scuff mark on the brand new paint. I knelt down. It wasn't a scuff. It was a word faintly scratched into the wall, almost invisible unless you were looking for it. I leaned in closer to read it. The word was help. My blood ran cold. Help. Was this his message? Was he trying to tell me something all along? Not just old pipes. Not just a building breathing. He was asking for help. And now, he was still asking. I backed out of the apartment, my mind racing. What did he need help with? What was I supposed to do? That night, I didn't sleep on the couch. I went back into my bedroom. I sat on my bed, staring at the wall, waiting. As the clock struck 12, the knocking began. Knock, knock, knock. But this time, I didn't feel fear. I felt a strange sense of responsibility. Taking a deep breath, I leaned towards the wall and, with a trembling hand, I knocked back. Knock. 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 Knocking from the other side stopped instantly. A profound silence fell over the room. A quiet I hadn't felt in weeks. It was as if a conversation had finally ended. As if he had finally been heard. The knocking hasn't happened since. I don't know what it meant. I don't know if I did the right thing, but sometimes, when the building is quiet, I swear I can still feel a sense of gratitude seeping through the walls. What do you guys think? Have you ever experienced anything you just can't explain? Let me know your stories down in the comments. This one has definitely left its mark on me. Thanks for listening, everyone. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more. I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe.